How much of the healing within what you're teaching and going into is really on the level of the family, the level of the partnership, and the level of you being actually doing the work yourself?
I think you can't even begin to address the family and the partnership until you address yourself.
Mm,
Full
it's got
stop.
to start there.
Full stop. I think that we've seen that actually not work for
Mm,
families. Doing everything for the kids. They're going on the date nights. Either they're doing the things that people are telling them they're supposed to do to be good parents and good partners. And at the same time, they're feeling the stress and the overwhelm still.
mm,
And so giving them the way to slow down and be with themselves. And I also want to say for people who think the idea of slowing down is really scary, I give you physical things to do with your body. Like those of you like me who needed the workout too, like I give you that. I promise. So, but giving them the chance to be with themselves. And one of the things I think is so powerful about yoga, meditation, breath work is you can't hide from yourself.
mhm.
Maybe you can hide your feelings of stress and anger from your partner, or you think you can, but you can't hide them from yourself when you're in silence on that yoga mat or breathing and being with your body. And it's a safe place to let those feelings and emotions move. And I, you know, have a wonderful husband. We've been together since we were at Boston University, 20 years ago. And we've had different timelines on our healing journey. And he's been a great parent and a great partner. And he's only really starting to just uncover these things for himself. Can I say with 100% certainty, would our partnership be stronger if we both discovered these things right away? Probably. Yeah, I believe so. And at the same time, I don't judge him. I don't, scorn his journey. That's his journey. I can
Yeah.
only control my journey. But I think that it's evidence for me to be able to say taking care of yourself as an individual is priority number one.
Yeah. And I think a big part of taking care of yourself individually, also, and I'd love to hear your input on this because you coach and you do this thing with full potential method, which is great. And I think potential like leads into this idea of purpose, this idea of like having something bigger than yourself, or I am totally on board with I do this for my family. Like that's a big purpose in it. But do you feel you like a lot of people need to find their own purpose beyond that sometimes? Something that takes them into this idea of like, have releasing their full potential in that. Is that part of this like training in what you're doing?
Well, yes. And the word fulfillment comes up a lot for
Yes.
parents. I don't feel fulfilled in
Mm,
what I'm doing as a parent, as a partner. They're great. And something isn't feeling settled or like it's clicking. And as you heal your nervous system, those answers will find you. You'll
mm,
feel comfortable sitting in silence so that those insights can find you. You're not going to find those insights when you're going at 1,000 miles an hour. You're not. You never get your aha moments when you're busy at the grocery store. You get them when you're walking outside for that 10-minute walk by yourself in silence. You get them in those moments, but you can only handle those moments of silence when your nervous system is available. And if your nervous system is offline because you're in fight, flight, freeze, you're not going to be available for those types of downloads and fulfillment. And I think also a lot of parents feel a lot of shame
mm.
around admitting they don't feel fulfilled only by their children or their partnership. And I think there's, especially with moms, they feel like they should. Shouldn't being on the PTA be enough? Shouldn't being a great homemaker or a great working mom be enough? And they feel guilty admitting they want some type of dharma, divine purpose to relate to this. And I think that opening the door to healing yourself and quieting your mind is what gives you those answers. So we do see that come up a lot. Fulfillment is the word that almost everyone uses, which is kind of interesting too.
Yeah. It's something I truly believe is part of the healing journey of anyone, is to truly understand what is my purpose, place in this all, where are my passions, my hobbies, and really go after them and light that fire within you that so many people are missing and unfulfilled about.
That's
Yeah.
right. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's kind of how my book came to exist. Because when
Mm,
Rocket was 2 and newly diagnosed, people told me, you have so many tools, you could go write a book. And I thought, no, that's not what I want. I'm supposed to be Sarah, the yoga teacher forever. This is what I'm passionate about. I don't want any of that. This isn't what I signed up for. I remember saying that out loud. This isn't what I signed up for. The autism thing is not what I signed up for. And I had a lot of resistance to it. And whether I signed up for it or not on the 3D level, I obviously signed up for some type of soul contract with it because here it is in my life. And so I had to make peace with that. My purpose is going to look very different than the purpose that was my purpose prior to this. And I had to do my own healing around acceptance and at the same time accepting, but never subscribing to the commonalities or glass ceilings that are imposed upon families with autism that I saw all the time. I became really comfortable saying, that's not okay for me. I'm going to fight for more. I'm going to do this thing. And the only reason I could do that is because I had the energy. I was healed. I wasn't overwhelmed. But only after I felt like, okay, my son's in a really dialed in place. He's doing great. He's learning and communicating more and growing. I feel really centered and calm and strong. I've accepted my life. I love my life now. I feel fulfilled in it. Now I can write a book. And that was probably 8 years of me just focusing on my own healing, being a great parent. And, I'm a very spiritual person, and I really had to lean on those spiritual teachings of my son and I obviously have a soul contract together, and we're here to fulfill some purpose together on this planet. At the same time, I have my own lessons to learn. He has his own lessons to learn. I can't control his journey. He's 13, he's going to be an adult soon. He's going to find his own purpose in his own way too. And really seeing the beauty in that instead of fighting it or feeling bad about it or resenting that this wasn't the purpose that I thought I was going to have.
Yeah.
And the healing in that regard is really important. You meet a lot of wonderful families who are still kind of skirting the issue of denial or acceptance, or they're afraid. They're spending a lot of time in their mind off in the future, wondering about what if my child never goes to college? What if they are unable to have a job? What if I never have grandchildren? They start letting their mind go into all these places, and that can seem consuming. If you don't have tools to bring yourself back to the now, you're never going to do everything you can today to achieve the best possible outcome in the future. And really, it just comes down to doing the best that you can today, every day, trusting that tomorrow you're going to face the things that you need to face tomorrow. But worry about that tomorrow. Today, just do it today. Yeah. And I'm very thankful that I had my spiritual teachings to lean on when I had all those big questions in my head too.
Yeah, I think this is where it's so important to have tools so you become resilient, because you will be thrown into these challenges. And like we were even talking before we started recording, at your child's school, the idea of the health class teaching them how to change a tire because that's a stressful thing. And most people freak out and have panic attacks over that these days. No, you have the tools now to go at this in a calm, even way. And anything life throws your way in the future, you can use that as well. So those spiritual tools, sometimes people just think it's oh, that's really nice for you. But, how would I use that? All of us could use that. All of us could use, de-stressing techniques and everything else out there. And so many different things that you will find work for you.